Well, we look forward to sharing and playing with you again.
Absolutely. And from now on, I'll be traveling with the MetaQuest, so we won't have this problem anymore.
Good. Well,
yeah, we are ready like anytime, so let me know.
Yeah, let's go live.
All right. Switch to talk, and then yeah, we can start. Hello, Dr.B. Hello, everyone on live stream today. Yeah, so excited to see you all.
Hello, Strongbear. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our July 11th live stream. And a lot is happening. A lot has happened. We're recovering from the ICMC still a little bit, which was very exciting. I actually went to New York after that and premiered a piece with Bethany as part of the New York Electronic Music Festival. And that went really well. And so that was the same piece that we played together in Boston at ICMC called Traverse, which featured a lot of real-time Csound processing. We weren't in the Quest headset, although we will be in Poland in November. And in fact, today's session is going to focus a little bit on live sampling and doing that. David is here, Randy is here, Tyler is here. Welcome all. We're excited to jam a little bit, and I think David should be able to jam with us at some point, which will be cool when we start playing a little. We always like to start each session with a little bit of a jam, but also just catching up. Been doing a lot of work with Csound. We're preparing for a live webinar that's coming up in later this month, which I'm doing with several of my great alumni, and we're going to be showing some CsoundMeta verse as part of that webinar on I think Friday, July 25th or something like this. But we'll tell you more about that later because it will feature some CsoundMeta presentations. But we're sort of reaching out separate from this channel to a different audience and just really trying to spread the word about some of what I do at Berkeley and what I teach and what my students are doing, and that's coming soon. And like I said, the performance with Bethany in New York went really great, and that was really nice too. And now what's in preparation is next week I'm going to be starting to record with my son Philip, who's a cellist, classical cellist. We're preparing a new MetaQuest piece for premiere in Poland for his string quartet, the Haven Quartet, but also maybe a solo with him and I or a duet with him and I. So a lot of explorations with live audio and live processing, and a lot more live processing instruments coming up in the next month or so. I'll be creating a whole new library of live DSP instruments, especially for the Poland premieres. So we're pushing in that area very much. And what I guess is worth saying, many of you aren't aware of this, but Strongbear added a whole huge sample library. We'll be drawing from it today. Pretty much he just took all the samples that I had shared and that we were using in some of our instruments and some of our models, and he built them into a sample library, which you can load in, any of you who have CsoundMeta installed. So when you pull up the sampler instrument, you can actually load in from our library. Now, it's not the perfect release library. This isn't our killer electric piano and our killer ET drum loops. They're coming. But right now, it's just a nice collection of things that I've used in some of my pieces and that we've used for testing. But the whole purpose of this is to kind of establish that we could build sample libraries into our system and that you'll be able to save them and choose from them. You'll see us doing that today. Strongbear, do you have any points that you'd like to make before we start a little jam or share about the program or invitations you'd like to, or shout-outs you'd like to?
Yeah, great to see everyone. So our performance at the ICMC 2025 is available to watch over on like Vimeo. So I think Berkeley or the ICMC organizer has put up like a live recording of the performance. It is on Vimeo and is on the CsoundMeta Discord server on the event channel. So if you want, you could watch that again. I think it's around like their 40th minutes or something, yeah, around that time. So one new thing that is that we haven't like introduced in all the live stream was that the like the live processing with the like another artist. So Bethany was playing her recorder in the performance, and it was recorded and processed by Dr.B in CsoundMeta. So that was really awesome.
You'll be able to see, and that's what we're leading towards now, a kind of chamber music immersed in VR on other planets and other worlds, but doing live capture and live processing of acoustic instruments. And so we're starting to deal with some of the timing issues associated with that, some of the singing issues associated with that, some of the sharing issues associated with that. So when I make a recording here, how do I share it with strongbear on strongbear's headset, for instance? And so, you know, we're starting this a little bit of what's on our plate between now and the end of the summer, or now in August. So those issues are coming up into the list, but already we've got a lot of power and a lot of capability that we're going to sort of share with you today. What might be fun right now is to just do a little bit of a jam. And we'll even invite David or any of you, or Randy, if you have your headsets, and we'll tell you how to join us. I'm running Csound Dr.B today, and I have my, and so the IP address is, maybe Strongbear will type this into the share, 172.22.2.22. So that would be the IP of the headset I'm using that you can kind of join on. Now, I'm already running. I'm definitely on. And we'll see if Strongbear can join me, first of all. And I'm going to just bring up the sound here in front of me.
Okay.
And in a minute, I'll share the screen.
Make sure that 0T is on. Then I'm gonna stop host on my end and go over client and connect. Yeah, and I'm in.
There you are.
All right. Are you sharing your screen?
Not yet, but I will. Okay, let me share. And let me go over here. And so, and let me make sure again that I'm sharing my cast. And so, are you seeing the shared screencast now?
Yes. And I think the sound's coming through perfectly.
Right?
Yeah, let me move so that, because I think you and I are on the same location.
We might be. I'm going to get up, stand up. I'm going to look around my studio for a second, show you the blinking lights.
Draw a new boundary as well.
There you are. So there's Strongbear. You could grab that sound if you wish. Oh, nice. Or this one. And I'll bring up Groove 44. Is stereo working?
I think so.
Yes, quite definitely.
Good. Now, has anyone else been able to join?
So Randy doesn't have his headset, and he gotta go at 12:40.
Okay,
All right.
all good.
Sorry.
That was nice, but that guy's annoying. This drum kit's pretty nice. Now let's go to a virtual world. Here we are. Let me pick another one. Tyler said he was in Vienna, so I've picked Vienna.
That's
And that's where we premiered this piece back in October at the International Csound Conference, or a piece called Csound Dreams in the Metaverse. And that's where we really showed off this new system that was built by Strongbear. I'm going to turn off this drum kit, and I'm going to bring up a slightly different jam. So I'm going to select a movement, and I built this little kind of ICMC jam that I was playing with this morning as I was warming things up. And it's a nice little kind of ambient thing where the sounds, especially these taupe instruments, you can kind of play this kind of rumble, and then teal you can play kind of melodically. You hear that? Bump, 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 bump. Now you're all going to want to remember that if you want something louder, you grip with your two grips on the inside and you stretch out the orb to make it larger, and then, you know, it will be louder in your headset or in your system. I'll turn the volume up, right? And there are some objects in this world that are silent, like this guy Violet. But I can bring Violet up and now trigger it, right? And we've got this way out here, this instrument up in the sky. I'll bring it to me. It's actually playing Ian McCurdy's Haiku No. 1. It's playing a complete Csound composition, rendering it live in the headset. And so in our library, we have all of these classic Csound instruments that you can, or compositions that you can play, that you can pan, that you can fly around. I'm just throwing it out into space now, letting it bounce off. And again, we can add, it seems a little loud. Make it a little softer, you see? And in fact, notice that it has a little orb here, audio out. So if I wanted, I could take Ian McCurdy's composition. I could go to my instrument collection. I could pick a live effect. And let's see which one I want to pick. Flange verb. Oh, this guy's pretty crazy. But let's connect the output of softly loud. I'm making it a little shorter. A little softer, I mean. I'm not loving that. Let's instead, I like it, but it's a little, let's instead use a kind of echo resin verb instead. I'll choose that. I think I'm ruining Ian's piece. Let's delete. Let's just let his piece go. What's this out here? High with glitch. Okay. Nice. Now, it's a kind of generative instrument. I might hook it up to an effect. I'm just wondering, it's funny because I don't remember putting these instruments in the jam, but I guess I did. Let's fly that sine cloud around. And Ian's thing is still flying all over the place. And that crunchy cabbage sound I love. We use it in our piece. And by the way, it's not a cabbage sample at all. But it is a fun sound. Now, a little bit of what's happening here is, for those of you who are new to CsoundMeta, is one, this is a wanderer. So when it's all broken up like this, the sound is changed from an orb, which is solid, to a wanderer. And the wanderers can fly anywhere. And I usually like to use those when I've created a generative instrument, because they just keep playing and composing on their own. But I can turn any instrument into a wanderer. So I've just made this cabbage sound, this crunchy cabbage sound, which pans pretty nicely, a wanderer. So now I can just throw it around and let it fly around the room, right? There's also a way of making the wanderers come home. So if I now push my X and A buttons, here come my wanderers, they're coming home. And I can grab them with my grip, stop them. I can use my joystick to pull them in and play them again manually, strike them, throw them back out in the world. I also have that guy's a little loud, let's make him softer. I have a little shortcut here where if I point with my left controller and use the grip, I can pull a sound right to me, kind of close. And then I can trigger it, right? Now you're probably noticing that strongbear has this wire coming from his controllers, right? His two hands. So these are patch cords. And what you do is you use the two grips and you point at an object and you connect patch cords to it. Even I can connect patch cords to the same object, right? So both strongbear and I could both control the same object. When you've got patch cords connected, oh look, you notice I'm getting volume control with my left hand, right? Well, that's what's happening because my patch cords open up a whole set of settings in the program that map the gestures of the controllers, right? Let's pull this back, let's hit it, and also what's really cool is for most of the patch cord settings, I've set it up so that the A button triggers the sound remotely. So it can be flying all over the place with patch cords connected, and I can still hit it again. Let's say like this teal theme, this melody instrument. I'm not hitting it, but since I have patch cords connected, my A button is playing it. You see it flashing every time I play it?
Right, for the chord, let's try the right trigger and we'll play the glitch sound.
Say it again, strongbear.
For the chord, try the right trigger. It will play the glitch.
When I have the patch cords, I don't need to live trigger it. I'm just triggering with the A.
But like for the chord, I set it up so that the right trigger will play the glitches, the left will trigger the chord. So they're two sounds in one object.
Oh, okay. Let you demonstrate that. Which instrument do you want to show that?
It's already connected. The chord has already connected to you. So just right trigger, raise your right hand.
Oh, I see. There's the chord.
Yeah, and the right hand trigger will play the glitches.
Sounds, man. I like it. Cool. Oh, how nice. So I'm fading up the chords with my left hand, triggering with my right.
So the right hand controls the glitches and the left hand controls the chord. So you have two sounds, separate sounds on same object. So if you use the right hand and press the trigger on the right hand to play the glitches, press the trigger on the left, it plays the chord. So two sounds.
Oh, wow. I see. You've got left trigger playing the chords too.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So I could write a two-part invention with this one object, huh?
Right.
Beautiful. Now David has joined us, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Hi, David.
It's right next to me.
Yeah. So, David, you may move in your room a little bit, maybe, and that will get you a freer space in the room. Let me go to our worlds and put us instead over the Red Castle.
Yeah, let me move as well. That's another place.
Nice. Now, there is an option. Notice I'm bringing up a menu to select instruments or things. So what I've done is I'm pushing this hamburger menu on my left control, the kind of indented button below the joystick. And when I do, up comes our menu. And so I could pick a different movement. I could pick a different world. You know, Paris markets, right? I could pick a totally different world that we're playing in. And by the way, if I wanted, I could tell the worlds to change every, certain number of seconds. Let's change every 33 seconds. Okay? So now automatically the worlds are going to change. Let me go back to pass through to just check out where I am in my room so I don't knock anything over. There you go. And now when I go to pass through, all of you see your own homes. When I get back into the world, we all see the same Paris, France city streets, cobblestone streets. All right? Very nice. So David, you have to remember to pull the object to you and strike through it in order to generate a sound. There you go. All right, and if you want to fly the sound around, you push the Y button, it becomes a wanderer, and then you just fly it around. If you connect patch cords to it, you can still trigger it even when it's flying. All right? And to connect patch cords, you push both the trigger and the grip, right? And if you want to disconnect patch cords, same thing. Point at the object, push trigger and grip, and you've disconnected the patch cords. All right? I like what we're doing. We're now over a reef. I love these big cylinders, Strongbear. I know they're a bug, but I love them.
Yeah, it should come back to normal like after 15 seconds or something.
Yeah.
That's the original ship.
Oh, okay. Let me add another instrument. I'm going to pick a classic, and let me see if I can pick, what do we want from here? Look at all these compositions. Let's play a little bit of something. Well, let's add a kick drum, at 114 BPM. Now, I picked it, but I don't hear it. You see how it's gray or silver? So I've picked it, and I can change the settings and do all kinds of things with these little sub-orbs. But if I just want to hear the sound, I need to stretch it out. Here's your kick drum. I'll close, and we'll just let it kind of bring down the house or get us into dance mode. In fact, this chord with high glitch I'm going to get rid of now, and I delete an object by pointing at it and pushing the joystick in. And so that's how I can delete an object. Here's my cabbage sound again. I'm just going to delete it. Boom, there you go, gone. Now, when David sees this sound, he's connected to an actual composition. I'm bringing it over here so that the viewers can see what I'm talking about. This is Gen Snare 1. And so when you see an object that is kind of like a jewel, like a ruby, like a rough diamond, let's say, that means it's playing a classic. And the classics, the only thing you can do with a classic sound, you can't mutate it or morph it. You can start it again from the beginning, and you can certainly send it flying around, and you can certainly connect it to effects. But there's a lot, that's not one of the instruments that you could manipulate like an orb. So when I grab this orb, this medium polymeter sound, every time I turn it or shape it or push my sticks through it, I'm changing parameters of that sound in real time. So any orb has a lot more control. And even when you turn them, from different sides and different points of entry, the sound can be dramatically different, right? But when you grab a jewel, which is a classic, there's not much you can do with it except, of course, jam over it with orbs, okay? So we've quit for a second, or to be quite honest, I think we just crashed.
Yeah.
Full disclosure.
It depends a lot on the network. So
yeah. So
especially we're doing live streaming, so it's more demanding on the network. But it's like, yeah, from here we could see your beautiful room with lots of synth modules, like colorful. Wow.
Well, I'm getting ready, like I said, for a webinar. So I'm actually getting all my server bending stuff ready and my brainwave stuff ready, and you guys all need to buy a Behringer 2600 speech ready.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening a little bit here. And also here, I've got a couple of brainwave modules and a scope for teaching a little bit, and a lot of my sensors and controllers on this system here, which I'm just testing and experimenting with. But let's, maybe what we want to do right now, Strong Bear, is just explain, and maybe you want to do the explanations. Explain a little bit about, this is where I write the Csound book, or the next book, or the next book thing. But maybe, Strong Bear, you would like to explain the sampler and show it in action, and then we could jam with some live samples, or what would you like to do?
Yeah, sounds good. The sampler, the new feature, is still under development.
Should I stop sharing and let you share now, or how would we do this? What should we do?
Either way, I could share it. I could show. But like for people on Zoom, I think it's better for you to show to do the demo. Because
you're gonna do the explanation, and I'm going to bring up the objects. Like you're teaching me how to use the sampler. How about that?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Should I go to a virtual world again, or
in your room is I think it's look perfect. Like pass through, perfect.
Okay. So I'll go to Meta, and launch it at least. And then, so I'm going to be the host then, I guess, still.
Yeah.
I'm setting up as the host. Here I am. And so now you see my sticks. And by the way, isn't it nice that each of you, Stronger has set this up so that there are cheat sheets that hang from the sticks. But when you're actually playing a composition, the cheat sheets don't show up for the audience. So right now you're seeing kind of reminders. Hey, push this button to do this, do that for this, etc. So, you know, we have a nice set of instructions here in front of us that kind of remind us what to do and how what button combinations work. And I'll tell you, if I haven't been playing for a few days, I sort of forget, oh, how do I? Yeah. So, you know, this button combination quickly takes me to virtual world or pass through.
Yeah.
So I'm ready, Strong Bear, for you to give me some instructions that I will follow.
And just a note that blue note, it is adapted to the context. So which means like if you point to an orb, it should change to indicate like what you could do with the orb, like turn.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when I pointed at the orb, the blue note expanded to say, hold X to show and hide tools. So if I point at it and I hold the X button, oh, there come my tools. And there they go.
Exactly.
Yep.
So even though we have only a couple of buttons on the controller, we try to put as many as combos we could, so that would make the performance and other tasks like quicker. So for creating a sampler, unfortunately we don't have a like combo for that yet. So you open up the left-hand menu and then go to instruments, then select the sampler. Yeah. Well, now the sampler look like a cube. Yeah, and as the other instrument, you can stretch to make it louder. And when it's gray, means it's muted. So a sampler, now there's no sample in it, so it does nothing. You could record or you could load like a sampler from the library. What do you want to do now? Do you want to record or play it from this library?
Well, let's record one.
Okay, so you hit the record button like on the top left, and there's a tooltip over there. If you hover on the tool to say record, use your trigger and then record. Yeah. And while you record, it shows the amplitude, so to indicate it is playing something. And then you hit record, which is the white like tools underneath of the record. Then it's recorded, and then it's ready for you to play. There's two tools up there for you to play, like play one shot or play in a loop. Hello. Yeah, that's one shot. 1 1 1 1. And there's a loop. So hello. Testing 1 2 1 1 1 1. Yep. So and it should loop again.
Yep, it was.
Right.
It started to loop, but I was kind of bored with the sound.
And
let me make another recording that will show that a little better. 1 2 1 2 3 4
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2
oh.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2
Yep.
1 2.
So but you could interact with the sampler the same way as you interact with Orb by hitting it. It will play the sample. Play.
1 2 1 2.
And it plays just one shot.
1 2.
So imagine you have multiple like sampler. You could like trigger each of them by hitting each of them.
I'll bring up another sampler and I will load into this one.
Yeah.
Okay?
This time let's load.
Let's load in. Let's load in this guitar sample.
Oh.
I don't know. I think this might be Victor Lazzarini himself practicing the guitar in his office in Maynooth. I don't know what this sample comes from, but I think it's part of our Csound library.
One, two, one, two,
Right?
Yeah, perfect.
two, one, two.
Yeah, now the fun thing is like you could connect the sampler to an like effects processing. Yeah, like go to instrument,
Instrument.
right? Or you could use the shortcut if you remember that. Yeah, so you connect the output of the sampler to the input. Beautiful. Wow.
And I could turn this into a wanderer, couldn't I?
Right.
I could start it and have it fly all around me.
Yeah, I can hear it like panning, like spatializing
Yeah.
perfectly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's say you like this one, you could save it. Right. So there's two things to save. First is to save your recording, and then secondly, save the whole thing into a movement.
Right. So this didn't save my recording yet. I see.
Yeah, because when you hover on it, it say unsaved audio. So
Right. Unsaved audio.
One, two, one, two.
yes. So let's save that.
Save this. There's an option to save. There it
Right.
is. Up comes a dialogue for
Yeah.
me to just put in my own word. This is
Yeah, you could type or like dictate.
to talk. Save.
Perfect. And next time when you load, it should show up in the list of samples. Yeah. So now you could save the.
I'm not sure I knew that myself. So it's saved in my sample list.
Yep, it's saved and it's
Make another sampler. Hang on.
yeah,
I'm going to call up another sampler. I'm going to tell it to load.
right. And 1212 is over there.
There it is. So I'm going to make it louder.
One, two.
Yeah. Now you have two.
Now, what's the shortcut to put up an effect?
I think it's what's that? X and B.
X and B. Let's see. Oh, it is.
There we go. Random.
Hello? Okay, this is crazy because it's actually glitching. But let's take the hello, hello.
Yeah.
Put it in there.
Connect the output of that to the input of the effects and see what it makes.
One, two, one, two.
Nice. Yeah, you could A B to change the effects.
One, two, 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 one, two.
Nice.
One, two, 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 one, two.
That one looks like there's some connection, something. It's like it doesn't create an effect. It's just empty orb. Maybe create another one. Yeah.
One, two,
Yeah.
one, two, one, two, one, two.
Okay.
One, two,
Yeah.
That's driving me nuts.
two,
And looping
one,
will
two.
stop. Now, Strongbear, could I have hooked patch cords up to this so that I could start and stop or loop or one shot with a patch cord yet, my sampler?
Not yet, but that's a great idea. Yeah, we should do that.
You need to add that.
Yeah, in the next version.
Yeah. We pop that up on the list because I would love to
One, two,
have these guys sitting out somewhere and I could just grip it or trigger from who knows where and fire it off again. That would allow for, I mean, I can do it now, right? But
one, two, one.
Yeah, it would be nice if you can control them from like a distance.
yeah, or even their volume, or especially
Yeah.
those few things, one shot or loop or volume, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, maybe turn them into wanderer, just the same way we did with other instruments.
Yeah, okay. Well, if these are classes as objects that you're programming, that might be possible and reasonable.
Yeah. So I think that the next thing to do is like to save all of these into a movement so that you could call them up again and play next time.
Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm saving this little black noise down sound too. So I've got sound. I've got my talking one shot. I've got my guitar.
And you have an effects as well.
Yeah, and I've got this talker.
Oh, right.
You know what? He really does need an effect. Let me add that reverse effect. It was pretty cool. So let me pick an effect. Here it is. Oh, it came up. Oh, wow. It's reading my mind. So let me do that. Let's make reverse a little louder.
1 2 1 2.
Now the nice thing is you can control the mix, I think, by I
Yeah.
can make the source softer, but make the reverse sound louder. So
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
okay, good. And then we got this, and we've got this.
1 2
And we should do something with him as far as an effect goes as well. Let's see what I can do. Oh, this is nice. Wah. Okay, so now
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 1 2
this is like, you know, Simon and Garfunkel 2025. Sort of rapping with sort of, we've got the folk guitarist in a nightclub, you know. Hello, darkness,
My old friend. Yeah. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Exactly.
1 2 1 2
Now, okay, so hey, stop. Okay, so you want me to save this as a movement.
Right, let's save it.
I'm going to save new. Boom. I'm going to give it a name.
Yeah.
Enter the name here. Up comes a keyboard. I'm going to call it Bear Folk Duo. Okay.
Nice.
Submit. Okay, so there it is. It shows up in my list under Dr.B.
Yeah.
Oh, and you know what I think it just crashed on me.
Oh, did it save? I hope that it's saved.
It's there, so it should come back. But let's see. That was
Yeah.
our point was let's just quit the app and see if it was saved, right?
Yeah, it's a perfect demonstration if it works.
Okay, so I'm launching Unity again.
Yeah, finger crossed.
I'm going to be the host, and let's see. I'm going to open a movement. There's Bear Folk Duo.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
1 2
There we go.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I'm getting the wet dry mix a little better.
1 2 1 2 1 2.
Wow.
Well, we need to be in another world for this.
Yeah.
let's pick a world. Let's pick like Pink Planet or something. Pink Surreal. There we go. And now I'm going to save this movement again, but I'm just going to save over it. So I'm going to just say, rewrite this right now.
Yeah, that's will.
Stamp. And now when I open this movement, so I'm going to change to a different one for a second. Back to ICMC Jam. And now I'm going to go back to Bear Folk Duo. Ooh. And here we are in Pink Planet, and everybody's ready with our flanging folk guitars, our backwards counting, and I'm going to load a different sample into this one. Some whale songs. Good. And I'm going to save this on top. Boom.
Yeah.
So we still have my samples playing backwards. We've got the guitars. We've got the whales.
Wow, that
My noise.
that well sounds like very interesting.
The whale has a friend.
Beautiful.
But I guess if we're using whales, we need the world to be underwater, don't we?
That makes sense.
Underwater habitat? Maybe.
Yeah, turn off the pass-through. Yeah.
There we go. I think they're out there somewhere.
Wow.
Let's make it a little softer. Yeah, we want to wander them, although I like that we can wander at least the effect.
Oh yeah, exactly, right. I think that's a trick. Maybe like you create an effect, but it's just the you know the we have a dry effect or something, the one that have a dry and wet mix only.
Yep.
And you use that as a wanderer, so you connect sampler to that one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you can always spatialize.
Right. And then you have the sampler right next to you as the trigger.
Yes.
Then you have the dry and the wet, they all flying away.
Oh yeah, hey, I know what you're doing. Don't think I don't catch your tricks. You just got yourself out of a programming job. Like, oh, I don't need to do any work because, you know, if he just uses the rhyme effect, which is wet, dry mic.
Right.
Oh, you know, I wasn't born yesterday, my friend. So here's dry mic. Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
And
Yeah.
so you're saying now.
And so you're saying now.
Take. Well, where's my other voice?
Where's my other voice?
Yeah. It's right there.
I hate to lose the reverse, but
I hate to lose the
oh, now it's going to both.
Right.
Aha.
I forgot that feature.
I forgot that feature too. So now you're saying I make this a wanderer, and now my live mic gets spatialized.
Yeah. Is it playing? It doesn't look like it's playing. Oh yeah, it's playing. Cool.
It's doing it. Let's soften the whale.
Like, could you try double X to mute it? I'm not sure if it works.
I've muted the whale. I've muted this guy.
Yeah. But I wanted to try the double X. I'm not sure if it works.
By that you mean
Like point at the sampler and double X to mute it, just like the.
oh, okay, hang on. let me try double Xing. So here's the sampler
Yeah.
looping.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2
So,
1
I don't
2
think so.
okay, so it's not working yet. Okay.
1 2 1 no.
Ah, but I can. Yeah, XX will mute one of the effects, is right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, very nice. There's a lot here. Maybe we'll, wow. Yeah, there's a lot here. I'm starting to think compositionally, right? Sorry. You know, that's the nice thing about Csound in the metaverse. One, it's nice to know Csound and know how to make your own instruments. And we will be adding that feature where you can just drop your own instruments into the app, either from a web interface or whatever, right? Strongbear, you're talking about that.
Yeah, exactly.
But even now, you know, I'm getting ready to teach this to a bunch of high school students. And the cool thing is that, of course, the power of Csound is what makes it possible. But the fact of the matter is, there's just so much here that you can choose from and use and explore and play with that you know, you can really start kind of composing or producing or just jamming and having fun without knowing that it's Csound at all. But the more Csound you know, of course, the more you can, one, appreciate what's going on or even start to enjoy what's going on. And so here I've chosen this crackling instrument. Right? You hear the crackling sound. But now the truth of the matter is I can choose sound settings and I can do something with this sound. I can open up the filter, right? And, you know, and control the filter by, you know, moving my left hand up and down. So now if I connect a patch cord, I've closed the filter, I've opened the filter, right? I can transpose the sound by moving forward and backwards with the left hand, right? And so you see all of these controls relate either to the orb shape, to how you're contorting it with the controllers, or how you're, now let me see what I'm doing here. Oh, that might be why. I'm connected to a little router. I'm not connected to my high-speed network.
I see. Yeah, because I noticed it was laggy when you share your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Wen and Zio was in Zoom earlier.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but they gotta go. Michael Rhodes.
Oh, that was Michael Rhodes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, now I've connected to my high-speed network, which is more stable. No more crashes. We promise. Yeah, that was the problem. I have my little router here that we were using for the jam, and it does remind me that our jam session did crash, and so I don't know if I like that router. And I was going to ask you about that, Strong Bear. I think quite possibly I need to get myself one of those power game routers like you had that we would use at Berkeley.
Yeah. The one with like 6 antennas.
Yeah, exactly. I might talk to you after today's session about what you recommend, because I've been looking at some of them. I think it might still be a Prime Day going on. Prime Day is now 4 days long. I may have missed it, but I think there's a need for a game router.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netgear Nighthawk with the 6 antennas.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Are you using the Netgear Nighthawk with the 6 antennas on it?
Oh yeah, I'm so you use that one? I'm using the MSI like gaming it's run Wi-Fi 6E.
I see.
Yeah. And the Quest 3s are compatible with Wi-Fi 6E, so it will give very fast connections, like a local connection, but it still depends on the internet as well. So yeah.
But I was noticing when we were using Strongbear's system in Berkeley, even with a small hotspot, but using Strongbear's router, we were able to play 11, 12 people at the same time.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're using some of these less powerful routers, like during ICMC, we were getting about 5 or 6 players at once. And then even then, during our jam session one night in their kind of nightclub after hours kind of concert, that guy crashed on us, after about 5 minutes. And I think we added more people, added more objects, and boom. So that's why I'm thinking about one of these new routers. So
I see.
like I said,
Did you use your Samsung phone as the router?
I started to, and then ultimately that wasn't connecting very well, and so we used the GLNet router of Evelyn, and so that was saved the day really. But I have one of those now, which I was just using, that's called Csound, and it wasn't putting out like it was supposed to.
Is that the same device as Evelyn's?
It is, but hers might be a slightly different version. And they have all these variations. I think hers was a little bit better because it didn't have this kind of net limitation with a kind of network limitation that mine did. So supposedly we fixed it, but
does it use like cellular data, or it's just forward the Wi-Fi?
I think, well, I'm not sure. I have to look.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So right, that's about the sampler, and as other instrument, like you could save it to movements and then save it to composition. So composition is like the level of organization is getting bigger. Yeah.
Right. So I brought up my menu again for the viewers to see. So I did that by pushing the left indent button on the controller. We're calling this the Hamburg button. And so I'm pressing that, up comes the menu, and there we had our instruments that we chose from, including the fact that we saved in the sampler that sample, like you said. And then what you're talking about is I could have saved a movement, which I did, right? And I could, if I want, put the movement on a timeline. See this little clock? I can put it up in this kind of clock mode, and that kind of gives me access to it on our timeline. So, and what I did was I just deleted one of the instruments I was playing, percussive. But this Bear Folk Duo is now in the timeline, and so under compositions, I could say I'd like to start a new composition, right? And so First of all, I could show the timeline. Here it is. It's in front of me now. And I could kind of bring it in closer to me so I could see a starting point. And so here's the timeline now. And let me see if I can set this up. I might put up a world, like just a white background or a black background. Let's see. Maybe just white. Okay. So now I have the timeline. Maybe it would have been better as black. Let's see. Okay. So now I have the timeline in front of me. And you see, I put that bear folk duo on the timeline or in this timeline world.
Yeah.
And so now I can take the object and I can put it on a track. So let's put it here. Now, let me put black on the timeline. So here's black. So I'm going to have black first. I'm going to go up here into this top row of the timeline, which is a text area. And I'm going to kind of select that. And now I'm going to type in a little bit of text like timeline demo.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've created timeline demo as text right here. And so when I go to that point in the timeline, right, let's rewind. And play. Oh, where is it? Did I put it in?
Is that a word or a movement?
Oh, I'm sorry. It is a graphic. It needed to be down here. So now when I rewind, up comes timeline demo, no sounds. And then 5 or 10 seconds later comes Bear Folk Duo. Boom. Up comes the world. Oh, the world is still black.
Yeah, it overrides the movement word.
Overrides good. So I need to pick a world. Let's put it on the timeline. Let's say we want London because we're going to gig. And so I'm going to put London on the timeline right here. And it's 20 seconds. You see that time bar at the bottom? So at 10 seconds, the sounds come in over a black screen. And at 20 seconds, up comes London. So let's go back to the beginning. Here's the timeline demo. And then up comes the sounds. Ooh, which I could hit. And then up comes London. Maybe I needed not to pick London. Maybe I needed to pick underwater, right?
Right.
And I'm going to have the sounds correspond to that. Let's get rid of London or just put him for later. So I often save objects for later on in the timeline. Now, and so I'm going to pick that underwater world that we had. Underwater habitat.
Put it up.
Put it on the timeline. Drop it here. And I'm going to tell it, I want to start from there. Boom. Instead, I want to start from here. So I just pointed at the timeline to jump to that location, make sure it did the right stuff. And so now I could start the piece. We've got a clock here that moves with me, that pause controls, rewind controls, clear controls. Now we're at 10 seconds, so maybe I could put another bit of text there. I could say, gig tonight. Let's clear that. Let's type it in again. Gig with pet whale. We're going to make a PBS special, I guess. Okay, so we're going to gig with a pet whale. And that's the second thing. We'll rewind to the beginning. Timeline demo. That guy's fading out. Then gig with pet whale. Then the gig begins. Boom. Right? And oh, come on, you. Woo.
Beautiful.
And if I want, I could now hide the timeline. Go to my composition, say save new, and call this whale songs. Okay, submit it. Whale songs showed up as a composition. So let me jump to ICMC. And now let me jump back to whale songs. And by the way, let's hide the timeline. And let's jump to whale songs.
Yeah. And by the way, if you hit play on the composition, it also has the timeline.
I just did.
Just hit play. I mean, there's a play button in the composition list.
Oh, yes, that's right. So if I just say play whale songs, there, good one. Ah, I didn't know about that feature.
Really?
I've always been hiding the timeline. Gig with pet whale, and now the gig begins. You know what we need, Strong Bear, is we need to, our sampler needs like a scroll bar, so you can jump ahead in the samples maybe. What do you think?
Yeah,
Right?
definitely.
Yeah. And also you connect that, when you connect it to a controller, you could actually do a lot of glitchy sample scrubbing, you know, like everyone loves to do in Max MSP.
Yeah,
Right?
like DJ scratching.
Exactly. Yeah. Good. Well, what I'd like to do now is maybe stop sharing for a minute and see if there are questions, thoughts, advice, suggestions. That concludes our little sampler demo, and we could call this session "Teaching Dr.B how to use the sampler."
Yeah.
Well, there are so many nice features that you've added that, as anyone, you know, as you start to learn, you overlook. You know, you remember, you start going one path and you do things a certain way, and then you kind of, you know, forget what's possible.
Right.
So, no.
That's where the like a nice demo. Yeah, like better than I expected.
Well, I mean, we all learned, including me, some very nice things.
Yeah.
Now my green screen is still showing green.
Right, I need to. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when you're doing the demo, some of the green in the cast got like transparent. So yeah, like for example, when you pick an item in the menu, and because that item is highlighted as green, so yeah, it got transparent and people couldn't read the text.
Good. So nice catch there. Nice fix. So
Let's see if we're like. I think we have some question here. So Randy asking, is there any is there a list of commands that are not included in the attached menu? We have I think we have a document like in the CsoundMeta server, like Discord server. Then in the channel install, learn, and update, there's a document in there. Oh, I think it's in the installation guide. Let me share my screen. Here, are you seeing it?
Yeah.
So under here, other documents, we have a list of controls. Then yeah, there are more controls over here. General control, Orb Wanderer control, and for host only. And I need to update these as well. I think it's outdate. So
Well, you know what? Worth maybe even adding into the program, Strong Bear, if it's not that hard, maybe up in our setup thing, show all commands or something like that, or command overview.
yeah,
Just so
exactly.
it would bring up a big screen that we could look at and hide command overview.
Yeah.
Because I would like that too.
Yeah, exactly. We need to have that too, like and all the tutorials. But but at least here's the place that you could find it. So in the
Yeah,
installation
it is
guide
available now.
at the bottom.
But yeah, I think if it's not impossible to add that as some kind of a checkbox pop up, show all commands or whatever, that would be nice in the thing. I'm thinking of when teaching high school students or whatever, or just trying to remember myself. I'm in the app. I'd love to just be saying, show, oh, wait a minute. Oh, there's a command for that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that would be,
Right.
that would be nice.
Cool. Yeah, like when tried to join Zio and it crashed. Yeah.
I think I should put away my Csound router or send it back. It's too late. I threw out the boxes. I really need to just look into it a little bit more. This is the little GLNet router that I've been playing with. This little guy here.
Yeah. Looks nice and compact.
Yeah, the GL-iNet Wi-Fi 6 router, the GL-MT3000. And boy, Evelyn's was remarkable and worked great and did all kinds of things, but mine, I might not have set up correctly or as magically as she did. But I am thinking this same company has, and I do kind of trust the company, does have one of these gaming multi-antenna, gaming ones running Wi-Fi 7 or Wi-Fi 6 or whatever. So, again, I'll take some of your advice after our meeting and probably order one of those just to allow for group performances when in Poland and California and elsewhere. So,
Cool.
yeah.
So Zio has a question like, is it possible to edit the sample range and ADSR? Yeah. For now, like we don't have that feature like directly in the sampler, right? But like maybe we could use like live effects, like the same way we did with the dry mic. Is there any live effect that we?
You want me to make an envelope live effect?
Yeah, kind of. Right.
Okay, I can do that. What I'm also thinking I would do, Strong Bear, is just make and we do have it, but it doesn't do the whole library. I can make a sample player live instrument, and I do have one now, kind of, but it could be the sample player live instrument. I can put envelope control in it or settings in it. I can put, and so it would be a little different than our sampler. You know what I mean? But I think I can make an instrument that would, and with your help, that instrument could load our whole sample library.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You could pick, and as long as my instrument can load like the sampler does, then, you know, we can call it sample player. And maybe it can be under the sample category. So, you know, that would be sample recorder and player, and the other would be sample player. And so sample player would be an instrument I make, as Zio suggests, with envelope controls that I can set, attack, decay, sustain, release, just 4 sliders in the sound settings. And also I would have an option to choose random start times. You know what I mean? So then it would be able to just jump around the sample or whatever. So start from the beginning, or random start times, or even a start time pointer. So I'll work on that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good suggestion.
Right. And even with our existing live effects, I think the table recorders instrument, right? We have that one. Maybe we could fit the sampler into that instrument and then do all of kind of processing over there.
That's right. The table record instruments and players kind of do some of this, but I'm going to look at that as a starting point for sure. But I'm thinking of the cello piece
Yeah.
and the recorder piece. I'm thinking something new.
Cool. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Of course.
Yep.
I have 3 questions. First, when you create an orb, does it randomly choose which sound you start with, or is there a way to assign it to a particular sound you want to start with when you just hit the create orb button?
Yeah, that picks randomly from the library, but you can always select a sound and pick one specifically, right? So if instead of randomly creating an orb with the push buttons, which is, you know, sometimes a very nice one comes up, but sometimes something not so cool comes up, or some useful. So those are just random. But very quickly, David, you can then use the buttons on the right controller, A and B, to just say, pick, you know, change it. So once it's up, you can quickly kind of cycle through to find something you like. But what I always do if I really want something is and you can save your own, but I go to select an instrument, select an orb, go to my library like teal, and bye, Tyler.
Bye, Tyler.
Bye. Great job. I'm so looking forward. I have so many ideas. We'll talk later.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. See you next time.
Of course. I'll talk to you
fun.
later. Bye.
So, you know, David, that's kind of what I do. If I really want my, you know, melodic player, I know Teal kind of does that. I bring him, I maybe fine tune him, save my own version, and then I save it as part of a movement, which is my melodic movement or whatever. And so, you know, you really, I can call this a feature or a frustration, right? So you can really customize, you know, the movements or the world or even your collection of variations of the instruments so that they really do the right thing for you. And by that I mean that fits your aesthetic or what you need for a piece. But also, it is a little harder to, you know, okay, let me go through all the menus, let me find the things I like, etc. So, you know, the nice thing is, since Strongbear and I have been working on this project for a year and a half now, or maybe longer, I like to think time stands still, but it does pass. It doesn't seem to pass for the two of us, but I keep seeing Strongbear's daughters get older and older and smarter and bigger and bigger. And I'm saying, wow, time is passing. Our children help us realize, I think, how time is passing. But Strongbear knows the sounds very well too, because we've been playing with them for so long. So it's like, oh yeah, I know that one. So when I want that kind of thing, or I know demolition is nice, but it doesn't really explode like I'm hoping. The title is a little bit of a misnomer. So when demolition comes up, I usually, oh, let me get something else. I usually like firework instead, because firework does have a nice dramatic attack. But it's like Zia was asking, and we'll get to your other two questions, that I really need to make envelope control, add that as a control and add that to almost every instrument in the library so that you really can customize the duration and transition and onset of every sound that you want to play. Because it has been my experience whenever I hand these to anyone. I did 2 days with high school students at Berkeley last week or 2 weeks ago. And, you give it to them right away. And the first thing they want to do is play it like a drum because it looks like drum mallets. And so I need to make sure that, I have a lot more sounds that have fast attacks and fast release. And so that's coming.
Yeah.
Sound,
And
you choose sound palette in their strongbear? Is that the best way when you're in an org, go into the sound palette and choose the sound that way? Or?
Of course.
yeah, the palette is the way to kind of fine tune your collection.
Okay, now let's explain that. So we're using the word palette like an artist palette, let's say. And so what it allows you to do when you save a palette is it creates a group of your favorite sounds around a central, let's say, sun, right? So they sit around it, orbiting it, and it allows you then to quickly have a bank of presets that you like. And you can save a palette, add to a palette. It's a little tricky how to do that, but we built it specifically because I wanted my students to be able to improvise with me. But I wanted to make sure they would only choose like, okay, you're the drummer, so let me give you all a bunch of different drum sounds around a main drum. And you're the pad player, so let me put all my favorite pads around the pad group. So yes, David, palettes let you kind of create families in the orchestra that that you can then control an improvisation or structure it a little bit better.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
The other thing, when I create a world composition, the orb comes out for that world and you put it on the bottom row. But I don't know how, if I make one I don't want, how do I delete it?
Looks like we don't have a way to delete it right now, right?
Yeah, we do. You take it off the row, and it's still floating around in your timeline. It's just sitting there, but it doesn't show up when you're playing the composition. So if you take it off the row, just pull it off of the row, off the squares that's holding it. What I do with all my extra things is I kind of put them at the end of the timeline. It would be nice if our timeline had a stop object or an end object, something like that. But that's why we've created the white and black. And so, but.
Well, that's kind of my next question. When you're going through the timeline and it switches to the next 10 seconds, if sounds are carrying over, it cuts them off. So I noticed that you used silence after some of those to tailor that off before you do a new sound. Is that kind of the technique?
Right. Yeah. So I created those silence objects just to allow me. Well, now we have multi-tracks, right? Which I'm so happy. And we're talking about, Strongbear and I are talking about adding more than one layer of worlds so that one world will crossfade to another world. And we're also talking about adding a feature to the worlds where they go from day to night or night to day so that their kind of color or lighting will change. And lastly, I have asked Strongbear for an option where the worlds will slowly rotate. So I notice that when I'm playing, I'm looking kind of one way many times, and I don't take the time to look around the whole world. And I notice, hey, darn it, there's a castle behind me. Or, wait, whoa, I never even saw the sunset back there. So we are thinking we're going to have an option in world where you say rotate or slowly rotate. I don't want it to kind of spin around this way to make you dizzy. I don't want roller coaster mode, but I do want slow pan so that while I'm playing, you would see London reveal itself to you or Vienna, and I don't have to look. It's nice on my swivel chair here in my studio because I can just swivel around and, oh, wow, that's a pretty nice world. But in the concerts, I find I'm not wanting to move around too much because I'm afraid I'll walk off a stage or.
Exactly. Right.
But so you're right to ask, David, for the feature of deleting a timeline object. So I would think that Strongbear could add that where we do the X or something, or the joy, whatever we use to delete an orb in our movements or our jam sessions could be a similar key in the timeline.
Yeah, exactly. It's nice to have a way to delete it. For now, like if you pull them out from the timeline, like from the track, then when you save the composition, those will be discarded.
Yeah, I was just reminded of that. So automatically they get deleted. If they were just floating and you weren't using them, when you quit and open up again, they're gone. Which, by the way, is not a good thing because sometimes I have them waiting for me and I haven't finished making my piece or what I'm working on, but I get called away or something and I quit or it crashes and then all my favorite objects have gone. And so that's why my typical strategy, David, is if I know I have these 5 worlds I want to use to tell a story, I tend to just put them in, 6 minutes out or something, just let them sit there. And that way I have a whole collection of things that sit way off in in time. And then I pull from there when I'm making the composition.
That's a good.
Yeah.
And so when you do make a composition, when it comes up, is the timeline shown or do you have to turn it off? I notice in the composition itself, there's a play button that doesn't show the timeline, right? So you can test it.
So there's two, like in the composition list, there's 2 ways to play the. So actually, like if you click on the composition name, it will show the timeline and also like did it start the composition? I don't remember.
No, it does.
It doesn't. So it shows up the timeline, everything, but it doesn't start the composition. If you hit on the play button, like on the composition list, it will start the composition and hide the timeline.
So that's the best way to test it when you want to see it.
In some ways, yeah. But while I'm working, David, sometimes I just turn off the timeline and look a little, turn it back on. And probably a shortcut for that would be nice from within the composition screen. Hide show timeline shortcut would be nice just while you're working on it, because it is nice to say, let me start from here. Let me start from there and get the timeline out of the way and just watch it from there for a second, bring it back. Okay, let me move that over an inch, get it out of the way. So I think show hide timeline might be a shortcut worth having only in the composition screen. Yeah.
So you had Csound instruments, you could drop them in. Is that a feature that's happening yet?
It's coming.
Is there a particular format for that type of instrument?
No. Ultimately, it's coming. We'll see if it needs to be formatted in a certain way. But for now, when I when I make an instrument for Strongbear to add to CsoundMeta right now, if I want it to be an orb, I build it in Cabbage. So Cabbage exports to Unity. And so I put sliders and triggers and things in a Cabbage instrument, and that's what StrongBear builds in as an orb. But I spent a week going through my whole collection of hundreds and hundreds of Csound compositions since 1979. And what I did was I just gave StrongBear those as the composition. They were all formatted differently. I kind of standardized the sample rate and control rate, whatever, but I think even StrongBear overrides that in Unity. But I standardized a little. I made sure they worked. I made sure they didn't blow up. And then I just gave them to him. And in an afternoon, 40 of them were now in our list. In another afternoon, 40 more were there. So I think that if you're wanting to put in a classic, it does not matter the format. But if you're wanting to build an instrument with controls that show up in sound settings and you can adjust them and map them, then and StrongBear will correct me now, but the way I've been doing it as we've been collaborating for a year and a half is I've been converting them to Cabbage, making sure all the controls were right, making sure all their ranges were right, and StrongBear took it from there. StrongBear, what do you do from there, or what do you recommend?
Yeah, so to have a Csound instrument and have the the sound setting where you have the buttons, sliders, and radio buttons, stuff like that. You build it in Cabbage first, and then when it moved to CsoundMeta, it will automatically convert those into it will compatible with the CsoundMeta.
Well, that sounds like the best way to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's kind of what I had question-wise.
Thank you. And
Thank you.
If we go back 1 inch, your composition was wonderful at ICMC, and it was really nice with visuals and everything. As a side note that has nothing to do with CsoundMeta until the next ICMC, when you're going to be premiering all kinds of CsoundMeta compositions. Tell me, David, how you made the video in your piece, or...
Well, it's basically a combination of a visualizer and Artmatic Pro from software. Some of the things were Artmatic and some were just taken from a live visualizer, and normally I use it interactively, but this time I liked what I had come up with, because sometimes I don't like what happens live, and so I froze it and then I just performed to the fixed video basically.
Nice.
But some of the sounds were interactive, so I had to make sure I had the right sounds to match the video. So that was the challenge in that piece, was to put up the right sounds, because most of them I'm playing live or a background that I've created before.
Right.
So I again had to make sure that way the visuals would react to the sound. It would look like it was reacting, correctly. So,
Nice. Yep, I like Artmatic. I don't know that I've ever made a piece in it, but a number of my colleagues have and students have over the years, and done a lot of nice things, generated a nice video that was also used in some of my works earlier on. I'm archiving a lot of my old CDs and putting them now on a little flash drive. I'm reminiscing about some of the Artmatic work that a student had done for me to create a huge library of videos that we ended up, when we were in Poland together some years back at a festival, using, and it was some nice stuff.
Well, to me, it's, you've got all those objects that you hook together, and it's hard to know when you hook them together what's going to happen.
Right.
I don't understand that. But, put a video in there and then manipulate it with that stuff. So that's
right.
Kind of
Nice. Well, it was a wonderful piece, a wonderful performance. The visuals were very nice. I really enjoyed it very much.
Very much. I did. New York, but you were not there yet. So I think you came on Saturday, probably.
Oh, so you went and played there too?
On Tuesday.
Oh, wow. Good, good, good.
I had to leave Friday, so I missed your piece. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Cool, cool. Well, I've, yeah, it's a nice venue. The sound was great in there. And, so I hope to start, becoming more of a regular on that festival.
Yeah, it's a good group. Um, like you said, good. You were in the theater, or were you downstairs in Black
We
Box
were, we were in the theater.
Radio Theater? Yeah, I like that. And Travis is great. He's a good sound guy. So
Yeah, yeah, that was nice.
yeah, you know, a 16:1 Dolby downstairs, basically.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm going to be learning more about it. I've had my students play on the festival for many years, but um, uh, I haven't been on that festival. I used to be in the Gainesville Festival all the time with Paul Sane. And then when Paul stopped doing that festival after about year 17 or something, it kind of moved to Hubert Howe in New York, and I didn't follow it there. A lot of my colleagues did, but I was, that's when the whole Csound conference started to grow, and so I was really sort of pushing on that a little bit, and so it took me out of the Florida Electroacoustic Festival, New York loop, but I was so pleased with the venue and everything that I definitely need to make more of an effort to be there.
Hubert
Yeah.
is getting up there, though. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Well, we all are. Uh, um, so
Like David, is your performances like available like on the internet, like to watch, or it just like in person?
put them both up on Facebook. So if you go search my name on Facebook, they should be in my personal feed, but I will put them on YouTube as well. I just got home about a week ago and haven't had a chance to do that. I was gone for 3 weeks, so a week in ICMC, my daughters, and then a week at New York. So,
good.
but both performances there, and
Oh,
I
cool.
really enjoyed Bethany's performance. You guys did a great job at ICMC interacting with the flute. She's very good.
Yeah, she's great. And
Wow.
I was told by Javier and Eric Lyon, they both were there with the performance in New York I did with Bethany, that stuff was put up on the internet or streamed right away or something like that. So
About that, it is the whole conference is available online, streamed
yeah,
through the. I'm
yeah,
not sure how neat to get there, but
yeah. I don't know the link, but I think that so the stuff should be there. So
concerts. And I don't think ICMC has come up yet. They were working
oh,
on I didn't see any links for the recordings there. So
like I said, I think the keynotes are up is how mine got up, but the the other stuff is supposed to all come up, all the concerts and everything. So, and my students were watching them all. They were all live streamed. So I just don't know if they were all, and the video and audio was quite good in all of them. So that was pretty exciting.
they usually record all that. And
Yeah.
like they said, they make it available in the program where you go. So, but
Yeah.
any links yet. So,
Yeah.
but thing on YouTube called Aurora Music Productions. That's my company. So
Um, the the what again? The
Aurora Music Productions.
Aurora. How you spell Aurora?
Aurora, like the Aurora Borealis. It's the same.
Aurora. Good. Yep.
Got me phone book. That was the idea.
Cool. Yeah, I'll check it out.
And I haven't put those up there, but some older compositions are up there too.
Nice.
Another thing, MJC electronic music. I've got my concerts from the COVID era and all that. We had to do that all online. So.
Yep, I've found the website.
For my studio, probably.
Yeah.
I should put links there to the YouTube. I haven't done that. So.
Yep. Nice. Good. Well, I've saved a link.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Are there any other questions before we end our session today? Or
No other questions. All good.
good. So
should we jam a little bit?
that might be fun.
Yeah.
David's here. Let's do a little 10-minute jam, and then we'll end for today with a little bit of that. Let's see what I've got here. And definitely I have now a better internet connection. So you're telling me I need to share, and I need to make sure I'm sharing the cast, which I've done.
Yeah.
And you need me to hide that menu bar from that. So boom. Oh, maybe. Boom. Oh. There we go. Okay. And
Ooh.
I'm going to go over here and get the chair out of the way and get in the middle of my space. And I'm going to load in maybe ICMC Jam 5.
2, 1, 2, 3.
And maybe you could try to join me.
Yeah, I'm in.
Looks like strongbear is here. Let me ICMC Jam 8. What's that one? Oh, good. So now what you see here, David is here too. All these objects are not jamming now. They're not playing because I didn't want to start with everybody making a lot of noise. But you can grab one, pull it to you, make it louder, trigger it. All right, here's red. All right. And turn up the drums, turn up whatever. So, uh-oh. Did it just crash on me?
Yeah.
Wait, I thought we had a better internet right now. Or did my battery just run out? I don't think it crashed stronger. I think my battery just ran out.
Oh.
That's what I think happened with my headset there. Yeah, it shut down. So I can certainly switch to another headset, but or you could lead a jam right from where you are. Why don't you do that and I'll join you?
Yeah, I can do that too. Let me double check my IP address.
Yep, okay. And I'll put on another headset.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I can just see Csound and jump right in there.
Yep. Dude, I could be a host. Otherwise.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you have the your headset ready, then.
Yeah. Then just give me a second. I'll bring it up. I'll become Csounder. It's fully charged.
So Csounder is like .3, right?
It is .3.
172.22.2.3.
Okay, hold on. I gotta tell my MetaQuest to connect to this thing. There's Csounder. And I've got to say allow. Hold on. Uh-huh. 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 Okay. Come on. Okay. Oh, it's updating the controllers. We had it do this a moment ago. Okay, hang on. Here they come. Okay. Up. Now the left controller is being updated. Let's hang on. Okay. Controllers are updated. Cancel that. Allow. Okay. So I'm in. I'm about to cast. Let's get rid of a few things.
There's a pop-up on the casting saying it taking longer than expected. You might want to close that pop-up.
I will. Yep. We've got that going. We've got that.
Yep.
It looks like we're casting, right?
Yep, you are casting.
Now, let's unmute the audio. Let me just make sure MetaQuest is running. We've got 0 tier on. I'm going to launch CsoundMeta. I'm going to become the host. I'm going to bring up an orb. You tell me if you hear it.
Yes.
Good.
It works.
Great.
We got stereo.
Even better. So let me pass through so I can move things out of the way.
I'll update the IP address on my end, and then I'll join you.
And tell David the IP address too.
Yeah, I posted the IP address in the Zoom chat as well. So
you join me.
172.22.2.3.
You're here. So let me bring up a movement and look at this, Jam Fridays. Let's pick Jam Friday 3. David is here, right? I'll make the worlds change every 33 seconds. I'll pick an instrument. little better. Go. Sounds like a water phone. Well, I think that was my alarm clock telling us that the meeting.
Yeah, there's one
Over.
157.
Well, that was some interesting stuff. And I noticed that you were playing, playing with the samplers and stuff. Now, I think we probably had a high speed enough internet, but I think that the samplers might, you know, need some thinking or testing, a really rigorous use, right?
Right.
But that was a wonderful session. I want to thank David for jamming with us a little bit. I hope that that was good for you and that you had a little fun. I appreciate your questions and suggestions. And we want to thank all of you who joined us on the live stream, and those of you even tuning in later by just watching our video. I hope that maybe you'll have learned a little something about how to use the system. Maybe some of you will be getting in touch and installing our free alpha and beta versions of CsoundMeta on your headset so that you can start jamming with us and playing with us. That would be great. And other than that, I think, Strongbear, do you have any closing comments or thoughts or things you'd like to suggest? Maybe you want to get that green screen out again just as we're saying goodbye.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Cool. Yeah, so it was a great session today. And I think we didn't make some nice demo for the samplers. And thanks for great questions, David. Like I hope to hear more questions so that it will help us improve the app and the user experience. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. And
That's end our session today. Have a great one and have a wonderful weekend, everyone.
bye, everyone.
Bye.